Is Ryan McLean with us? See his name on the screen, but can I still be heard? This is Bill Shea.
I can hear you. I just can't see you.
Okay, yeah, and it doesn't seem I can see you, but I click on it, but my face doesn't come up, so it's not the worst thing in the world.
I know Steve was having some issues trying to join.
Okay,
Some of them are on, but let's see.
I can hear you, Bill, but I can't see you. And I know I spoke with Tom Collier about 5 minutes ago and told him we were having a delay, and he understood. So, and Dolores, you're there.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay.
Can you see me?
No, ma'am. I can see a big D where you are.
Okay.
Standing right beside Bill.
Yeah, the big D for
Yeah.
Dolores.
I notice a lot of times Ryan's name comes up when Lori's on.
Okay,
So, yeah.
that might be it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because as far as I know, he's far, far away.
Yeah.
And how about Laurie? Is she with us? Because Laurie was the one that was going to, let's see. Now I have something that says start video, so I'm going to try that. All right, looking.
I can see you, Bill.
Okay, now there's something that says continue. So I'm going to try that. Okay, there.
Did you see Ed? Ed typed in, "Can you hear me?"
Ah, there he is,
There he is. Okay, there's Bill.
outside.
Yeah.
Dolores, is there something that says start video? If you want to click on that.
On the dots. Hit the
Yes.
dot.
Okay.
There's Dolores. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see what happens when we launch the space shuttle here. So, and okay, so this is a webinar. Laura Foley just wrote, this is a webinar, something about, and it just disappeared. But we still have Steve, and we've got Tom and Ed, who's going to do it from afar. Patience is a virtue. Okay, Laura's saying,
I think you're frozen.
yeah, because this isn't a meeting, people who aren't administrators can't be on the camera or mic. Ed Blanchard, are you here?
See, he's over there with Sarah.
One of my other children.
Yeah.
I know, I have a few.
Ugh.
How about Steve Meager? Are you here? Was that a yes? Oh, did you folks hear him? But there was a big echo in the background.
Yes.
Okay. And Tom Collier? How about Tom Collier?
I'm in a well here.
Yeah. This is a challenge. That was a big sloppy kiss.
You want to go out, Laney? Go out?
Some of you folks hearing a big echo when people try to talk? Yeah, okay. So Ed Blanchard, are you there? Oh, okay, he is, but gosh, we can't see you. And according to Laura, can you set this up as a meeting? And then it disappeared. You got to be patient here.
You can see what they're typing if you go down to the chat area on the bottom. You can see all the messages.
Yeah, I can see the chat. There are 4 things in the chat, huh? Let me look. Because this isn't a meeting, people aren't administrators, can't be on camera. Can you let me in? Is what Ed Blanchard's saying. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you let me in? Oh boy. So, and what about Laurie Reed? Is she around? Because she was the one that was going to set it up and record it and all that good stuff. But she said she was having difficulty doing that. My, oh my. Well, stop video. I see the. Okay. Tom Collier can see and hear you. So, Tom, you can see and hear us? Oh my. That's your girlfriend, Bill?
Yeah, well, since you guys are still connecting, I'm gonna have fun on my own here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. We need a little bit of levity at this point.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
Through.
Oh, some cool stuff.
Yeah, I got more.
All right, so let's do a roll call again. See, Ed Blanchard, can you hear us? That's a no. Tom Collier, can you hear us? That's a no. Steve Meager, can you hear us?
Steve just emailed me. He said he can see us and hear us, but he can't communicate.
Oh, crap. Okay.
Yeah, and it seems to be the best or the same way with Tom and Ed and Laura.
Okay. Now, Laura said that she would be late because she had an appointment at 5:30 and she thought it would go beyond 6. But other than that, everybody else had indicated they could make it. But, well, so Ed Blanchard cannot hear us?
It
Tom-
says he can hear us.
He can. Yeah, but
They can all see and hear us. Is there a way to switch this to a different type of meeting so that they can participate, except like other than in chat?
let's see if down below I have something that says share screen, but it says participants 9. And let me look and see.
Yeah, that's everybody.
Yeah, and it says Ryan McLean as a host, and Bill Withercombe, Dolores, Sarah. Oh gosh, and then 5 panelists. That's what it says. 4 attendees and 5 panelists. Let me see if I can change that. No, it said, okay, I have something that says invite. Choose your email service and send invitation. Gosh. This was to be an important meeting where we needed to get input from everybody, and I think what I'm going to do is text Laurie and see if there is another way of changing the meeting over. So give me a minute. I'll do that because I moved my phone.
How are you doing, Sarah, with your plans?
Kind of at a standstill.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to get our orders by tomorrow, but their system went down and it backed everything up about 2 to 3 weeks, they said. So now sometime in August, we'll find out where we're going. So
well, that'll be good.
Yeah, it just doesn't leave us much time.
Well, now I've got Ed calling me. Hello. Hi. Hi. Yes, we're trying. They're trying to get your voice up there and your picture.
So they can hear and see us, but they can't get
Okay.
involved in the meeting. So that's not going to work because they'll come up on a chat, but they don't come up.
Okay. Hold on a minute. Oh, now he's talking to Laura, trying to straighten it out to see how to make everybody on the
That's
picture
what I'm doing. Yeah.
talking. So, it says here, Bill's tell Laurie we need to set up a Zoom meeting. So,
Yep.
Okay. You can hear what's going on even though you can't see us.
Ed Blanchard,
Okay.
Tom Collier, Steve Meager,
Okay.
and Laura Foley. Thank you.
Okay, there you go. Okay. All right, maybe your picture will come. Okay, bye.
No, it would be Tom Collier, Ed Blanchard. Okay, just saw Tom come up, just saw Steve come up, just saw Ed come up, and Laura said she might be late. Okay.
I wouldn't worry about the picture. You got.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Laura's there now. Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Hey.
Okay, you're looking better.
Thank
Okay.
you.
I'm going back to the bar.
Finally.
Okay, now, how about Tom Collier? Because he hasn't come up yet, and Steve hasn't come up. Now, Steve might not be able to come up. Normally, his picture doesn't come up because he's working from a phone, but he's muted.
Unmute. Start
Okay.
video.
Okay. All right, Tom. All right. Okay. All right, kiddo. Thanks a lot. All right. Okay, thanks. Okay. Now, Steve Meager, can you hear us? Steve Meager, can you hear us?
Steve's
Okay.
got mute. Steve's got mute on.
He does, huh? Yeah. All right, now let's do a roll call just to see that we're in good shape. We got Ed Blanchard, Tom Collier, Steve Meager, we say is on mute right now. Dolores is with us. I'm here. Bill's here. Bill Withercombe.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Steve, we can. Thank you very much.
Woo.
And Sarah. Correct? All right, talk about a auspicious beginning. It is now 6:33. Thank you very much for all your patience. And we do have a lot to cover tonight. And so I'd like to dive right in. Everybody can hear me clearly? Okay, so the meeting will commence at 6:33 p.m. I sent you all a copy of the minutes of the meeting from June 24th. I asked for feedback, and there was no changes that need to be made. So I would like to have somebody
Motion to approve.
and
Second.
please. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good, okay, excellent. Okay, the next thing on the agenda was the review of the design for our memorial. And prior to that, what I would say is that everybody has looked at the design. We've all concurred with the design, so we're in line with that. I believe that we ironed that out at the last meeting, and I believe everybody is satisfied, if not over top about it. So that's a wonderful thing. And Steve and Ed have done a lot of work already to forward that a little bit. They've had the town, they drew out the little base for where the eventual memorial will be. And that's a good thing. So Ed and Steve, if you will give us a little more feedback on that, and also then we're gonna move right into the quotes that we've received and what we're gonna do with them. So, Ed and Steve?
Okay, we made a frame and it's on the common, and that is where the actual outline of the foundation will be. That I've talked with Travis, the DPW guy in Hubbardston, and he's gonna have DigSafe come out and make sure that there's no wires or pipes that are in that area, because we have to dig down 4 feet deep. So the hole will be 10.5 feet long by 2 feet wide by 4 feet deep. And then what will happen is, once that hole is dug, we'll probably either pour concrete that day or we'll cover it with plywood until we can get concrete. I'm gonna try and get my friend Jim Fletcher at Graves Cement to see if he'll donate the concrete. And he's a pretty generous guy, so I'm hoping that will happen. So that's it for the foundation. We hope that will probably be in, I would say, maybe 2 weeks for DigSafe, and then after that, within 2 weeks, I'd say the end of August, we might be able to have the foundation in.
Okay. Concrete. I'm trying to write a few notes here. Okay. And that should provide us with the base of what we need when eventually the memorial is delivered, and it'll be able to fit right on that base, Ed, and that should be exactly what we're needing. That'll measure up with what we're going to have for the memorial. Is that correct?
Yeah, once they pour the concrete, I'll be there and I'll be able to finish. We'll make sure that that frame is absolutely level, and then we'll be able to finish the concrete so it'll have a nice smooth finish, ready to accept the base and the monument.
Okay. Other input from our committee, and including Steve?
Well, Ed's doing all the work. You keep saying me and Ed, but Ed's doing everything. I'm just kind of a sidekick.
He was there. He helped me build the frame. Come on, Steve.
Yeah. Laura?
There any advantage to pouring concrete in the summer, 6 months before the monument's going to be in place? Why not do it closer to the actual build date?
Well, it takes concrete about 18 days to fully cure. And once it's fully cured, it'll be there forever. There's no advantage to doing it later on. Actually, I like doing it earlier so that people can see we're making progress on the project.
And my concern is if the ground is too wet as it has been, that the heavy equipment will just sink right in and mess it up.
From all the concrete I've poured, I don't think that will be a problem. The moisture in the ground, it'll just perhaps take a little bit longer to cure, but that concrete is so heavy, it's going to be pushing against the walls of the dirt, and doing it earlier, if there was any problem, we'd go through a winter with the foundation there, and then in the spring we'd know if there was any frost heaves or anything like that to the foundation. So I would say we should move forward with that as soon as the equipment's available and the concrete's available.
Good. And I like the idea that we can share the progress with folks on the Facebook page and any other ways that we can to show them that we're moving ahead and making progress. So I agree with that. Okay, what about quotes? I know that you sent out X number and we've gotten Y number back, and so
yeah, we sent out 7 quotes. And I sent you a file with all the people we sent the quotes out to, and updated that with the costs, with the quotes that came back. we've got one for 60,000 plus, we got one for 40,000 plus, and we got one from about 20,000, which is Heyo Stone.
Yep.
And they're in China. The other two are, stateside. I've been on the Heyo Stone website, and they've been in business since 1996. It's a big outfit, but I think that we want to one difference in the quotes is
anything, and I was going to call you back to say
one thing with a difference in quotes is the one from Heyo Stone does not have setup involved. So we would have to be responsible for the setup.
A phone number and an email that you can.
Tom, can you mute?
Do that. Mhm.
And I'm on
Bill, you can mute him as the admin. There we go.
There we go.
He did it. Okay, thank you.
So the setup, if we decide, and I think
We're all frozen.
we've got to really make sure that we're dealing with somebody reputable. So I'll get references from them of people that they've done work stateside here. I've had a good relationship with them in terms of getting them the information and them giving me back information. We want to make sure that the granite is absolute granite from India, if we can get that, because that's the best black granite on the planet. So what my suggestion would be is we've given everybody else till the end of July to get in their quotes. So we've got 3 quotes out of 7 people. It's only fair that we allow the quote process to go through and see what other quotes come in, because they're so all over the place. It'd be interesting to see how the other quotes do come in. And I expect we'll get maybe 1 or 2 more at least. But then I would like to see if we can process this through. I've got some questions about how we would deal with a Chinese corporation in terms of sending them money, getting assurances that we send them the money, that it's in a safe place. I think they're a reputable company, but I think I can get people to help me check that out. But I know we wanted to do this with the United States companies if we could, but the price difference is so huge that I don't think we can just rule out because they're from China.
Well, something that concerns me about doing business with a Chinese company is, are any of the trade sanctions still in place that once were?
Well, I think that there's tariffs on the product that would be coming to us. And they've also said that even shipping is, the shipping costs vary from time to time. So they can't give us a straight quote on shipping it. But the beauty of them is they can do the job within 60 days. And most everybody else is telling us it'll be 5 or 6 months. So I think that's important. And if we could get the monument done and here, I was going to ask Kelly, Bill, if we might be able to store the monument there. And then we would store it there. And then in the spring, when we're ready to get it set, I know quite a few people, riggers, who would come with a crane and actually set the stone for us. Professional people, insured, so that we wouldn't have any snafus or any problems.
My input on that particular quote is that, Ed, if you are willing to pursue that further and do the amplifications and qualifications, then I would certainly not throw them out because, like you mentioned, they, of course, did not include the engraving of the names And what I've seen from the two quotes where I was able to determine what the cost of an engraving for a single name is right around $80. And I noticed that from the two quotes, one of which was the company from Ohio. And they had, when you asked originally,
Yeah.
quantity wise, it said like 95 or 96. And when I did the math, it came out to about $80. And also the one from Stone also looked like it was around $80 a name. So, but so we'd have to have the means of getting the names engraved on it. And so that would be done here in the States. Is that what you think?
No, I believe that their quote includes the names.
My goodness.
I will verify that with
Yeah.
them. And what my plan was to have them send me a 12-inch by 12-inch tile with your name, Bill, etched in, so we would actually see what we'd be receiving from them if they do the engraving there.
I got you. Okay.
So, go ahead, Laura.
Something I've noticed about these quotes is that the one with the worst news of Leominster Monument is also the one that's the most complete. So it looks like the one with the least number of surprises. Techstone is not including freight, and they are quoting either material, or they're quoting both material from India and China. So their 42,000 and change does not include freight. And of course, Halbo Stone is a little bit elusive of what exactly they're providing. So I think it's definitely a good idea to see if the other quotes will come through, even though there are only 2 days remaining.
One of the quotes, the addition is wrong too, by the way.
Yeah, without a doubt. Bill had pointed that out to me last night. And it was I think, Testone.
Right.
When they did the math, it was about a $6,000 difference that they had. The columns, when they added up, one particular column didn't add up. So
Bill mentioned that to me, and I think that we'll have to flush all of these out and make sure by mid next week that we've got all the questions answered regarding all of the quotes and exactly what they do include and don't include. I agree that I think that the people from Leominster Monuments, I met the individual who does the blasting there 2 days ago. And if they're, he does some blasting for Livingstone Foundation and the quality of the work is great. I have no doubt that they would do a first-class job, but for $62,000, it's a big difference. And I look at some of, I ask you all to go on the Habbo Stone website so that you can see some of the work that they have done. And they do not only engraving, but they do hand chiseling of angels, and they do some pretty significant work. And if you go to their website, I think it would be good because everybody would get a feel of the depth of what they can do as a company.
I agree. I looked at it.
Pay attention to testimonials rather than websites, because it's what the customers say rather than what the vendor shows that can really make or break a project. And I think that any vendor that we choose, we should get some customer testimonials to ensure that what they claim they can do, they actually have produced for other customers.
Is that something you can do, Laura?
Let's see if they have any. It would involve, actually, it would probably be more for something you're doing, Ed, because you're already speaking with the vendors. You can ask for a couple of referrals or references, just as
I've got references from some of the people who have the Leominster Monuments provided us with 3 references and that was part of my original request with the quote. was for give us 3 references. And some people haven't followed the quote procedure that we would have liked to have them all follow, but that's business, I guess.
Yeah, I can certainly come in randomly and ask Karen Au if she can provide references, but it seems like it would be a better idea coming from you since you've
Yeah,
been her.
I'll do that with Karen. I'll
Yeah.
ask her for references, but that's not going to give us testimonials. They're going to pick their 3 best customers that they've done business with in the United States and give us those. But it's worth kicking the tires there for sure.
And I did try to do some background on them also, and I didn't find anything. But this is where, once again, I think our committee would agree that they were the most unprofessional in terms of the quote, but certainly worth pursuing. I mean, what they had produced on the website was very impressive. They have a very large facility. They have a large number of employees, and we have that tangible with a company from Leominster, and then the other needs.
Here's what I'll do. I'll go back to Karen, and I think I had told her that we were meeting tonight. So I'll go back to Karen and say the committee has met, and we need more information from you. And here's the information we need: cost of monument, cost of engraving, cost of base engraving, and we need 3 references.
Mm-hmm.
I know someone who speaks fluent Mandarin, and she might be able to help us out in figuring out if how the company operates and what we should expect in terms of they're completing things the way we like them to, because maybe it's a Chinese kind of a handshake deal where they just say, oh yeah, we can do this. But I really don't have any idea how Chinese people conduct business, but she might be able to lend some insight.
I don't know whether Chinese have a better business bureau or not.
Mm-hmm.
Better off calling the Chinese government.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, other input regarding the quotes, because we do have quite a range, and my 2 cents would be, let's give it another week or so. Ed's going to pursue what he does, and hope we get 1 or 2 more quotes. Certainly, when I get back from our cruise, I'll be back on the 8th. If Ed, do you want me to? I'll follow up on a few that haven't submitted a quote and ask them again. I
had planned on when I get back home Monday.
Thank you.
Because it'll be after the 31st, I think. Yeah.
It will. Mm-hmm.
Monday is the 1st, 2nd.
2nd, yep. Mm-hmm.
So I will drop them. Anybody who hasn't given me a quote, I'll give them a reminder that the quotes were due by the end of July. Please let us know if you intend to quote or not.
Good. And with that in mind, why don't we table that until we have our next meeting where we can have a further update. I'm disappointed in certain respects that the price is as high as it is, but it is what it is. And when we were originally talking and we had Sarah's roster of 84 and we had the other list, now look where we are. And we have so many more. Our goal was to be, all inclusive. And I'm very pleased that today I spent time talking with 2 different veterans from the Orchid family. And there's going to be more coming in. And I won't say the more the better, but the more complete and the more inclusive. And that was one of our absolute primary goals. So if that requires that we give them a little more time and then that gives us more time to organize our quotes, then so be it. And we'll pursue it with more determination to make a decision, perhaps with our next meeting, which we'll talk about in the end.
Okay. One of the other things regarding the quotes is that When I filed for the grant with the CPA, Sandra Barry wanted me to provide them with some quotes to go along with our grant. So, and we could also change the amount of the grant based upon the quotes that we have to date.
What?
So, and I think we asked for 17.5. If we find that, the average of the quotes is X, let's say it's 40, then we could probably increase the amount of the CPA funds that we think would be necessary to provide us with half. And we could certainly provide her with quotes that she would be able to have with that grant that would justify our increase in asking for, she wants to make sure that we're asking for enough so that we can complete the project and not have to come back to the CPA again.
And way back when I spoke with a select group, Dan Gallant, the chairperson, said, if something happens and you need to come to the town, we might be able to put something on the warrant for the fall. And so I think we're all surprised by the grant amounts of the quotes, but because our numbers have increased dramatically, and one of the major costs is going to be the engraving, that I'm far from being disillusioned or despair. And so we'll talk about a little more about that when we get to our continued fundraising. But we're not out of the game, that's for sure, because we're not going to allow that to happen. So,
Right.
okay. So with that in mind, I had put on the agenda, vote on moving forward on selecting a vendor, but we're going to table that because we need to get more quotes. We need to get more information. We need to get more educated regarding what's costing what, why. So now the next item on the agenda is an update on the status of our certified listing of eligible Vietnam veterans. And Sarah gave us an updated listing today. It was kind of her to put that together. In fact, at 5 p.m., I sent her an email and a couple more names to be added to the list based on my conversation. But Sarah, give us some feedback on how you think that's coming along, where do we stand, and perhaps a brief explanation of the list that you sent us.
Well, I mean, I'd say it's wrapping up, honestly. I mean, we're just under 200. I think the list I sent out was 197. And I did include the select few that returned questionnaires that didn't want to be included. And that's something we talked about briefly. But there are still a number of people that I haven't been able to either verify that they've lived in town or that they were in Vietnam. So there are highlighted areas all over the list. And I mean, as things change, I might be able to verify some of those moving forward. But I mean, at this point, we had talked about Steve's list and, him kind of vouching for those people, just personal knowledge of their service and their residency status at the time. So that's something we were going to get some input from everybody on. So what do you think?
Yeah, so to amplify and clarify, we had the names that Steve submitted, and we want to take a vote as a committee to determine if, without getting the DD-214s or any other evidence, that based on Steve's personal knowledge of these individuals, that they should in fact be included on our monument. So Steve, what do you think about that?
Well, as far as Jean Boudreau goes, I was able to get an address from him of his I don't know how old it is, but Sarah, if you want to copy this down, it was P.O. Box 668, Waitsfield, Vermont, Waitsfield, Vermont.
Can you say the PO box again? Sorry, I was opening an email to type
Oh,
it
okay.
in.
It's a P.O. Box 668,
Okay, and where's that at?
Waitsfield, Vermont, Waitsfield, Vermont, zip
Okay.
code 05673.
Okay, and who, this was for
Yep.
Boudreaux, you said?
Yeah, Eugene Boudreaux.
Okay.
And then there's other names. Well, John Blyther, Charlie Fox. I didn't know he was in the service, but he was in the Marine Corps. Gary Hackler, I know he was in the Marine Corps. Bob Hanula, I know he was in the service. Larry Kangas is Nancy's brother. He was in the service. And then there's ones that aren't on the list is Larry Schiller and Fred Schindler, brothers.
You said they're not on the list?
They're not on the list, no.
Okay.
And then, well, you had Bruce Coffin as a question mark. I know he was in this, he was in the reserves or something, but I know he was in.
But you don't know if he was active or not?
Well, he was reserves or National Guard or something like that. I
And
see
their
him every once.
criteria is that they've served active duty, at least one day of active duty.
Right,
during-
so, yeah, right. Yeah. So I see him every now and then. I'll ask him if he's gotten them. Did you send him any mail for,
If he currently lives in Hubbardston, then he got one of our packets.
yeah, I don't live in Hubbardston. I think he lives in Templeton.
Oh, then no, I don't have a current address on anybody outside of town.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
You know, we've got some time to work on these and there's some names on there and, you know, like Tink McCauley. I mean, we can touch base with these people directly, I think, and, you know, they're honest people and they're just going to tell us what they did. And that way we can maybe reduce some of the yellow highlighted names that you have.
Right. I just wanted to count them like in the total so that we had a better idea of how much space we were going to need.
Yep, it's good to have them there.
Yeah.
And then we might be able to split up the list of those that are yellow and be able to say, well, I know him, I'll call him. And by the next meeting, be able to touch base with most of these people that are yellow highlighted and narrow in and give you the information.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I can continue to verify people as long as we want to continue to accept names, you know.
Now, all these people on this list, they lived in Hubbardston between 55 and 75?
No, they've just lived in Hubbardston at some point and served during those dates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I talked with Embert Fox, because he lives right on Morgan Road.
Morgan Road, yeah.
That's Steve, I think is what he goes by.
Yeah.
And because I was trying to follow up on Charlie Fox, which is a name you brought up. And Charlie moved out of town. He moved to Maine. He passed away. He just got buried in at the Veterans Cemetery in Winchendon. And Steve said he was going to contact his nephew, who would have been Charlie's son, and they were going to definitely follow up and send the paperwork in, because you're right, that's one Charlie Fox for sure, in the Marine Corps from 1961 and 1965. So that's one that was on my radar in the back. And I would presume that in the next week or so that you'll be getting that from the Fox family coming out of a main address, because he moved he was the one on Route 68 that had the farm and the farm stand and the ice cream stand. So, so you remember him, right, Steve?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I
So-
never knew he was in the service.
Yeah, isn't that something? I mean, just,
Yeah, I didn't know Embert was. Well, I know him as Embert, and it goes by Steve now. I never knew he was in the service.
yeah, and this is what our investigation has revealed. And I remember literally the last meeting, we talked about Gary Schindler as being.
Larry Schindler.
Oh, Larry Schindler. Okay, I put Gary. And because you mentioned he had gotten wounded. So.
Yeah.
And so you have periodic contact with him, Steve?
No, he died.
Okay, so,
Killed in a car accident down on the Cape,
oh, for crying out loud, okay.
probably 40 years ago.
Oh, so we know, but you know he got wounded in Nam, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And he was living in Morgan Road when it happened.
Oh, for crying out loud. And so his name, you think it's spelled Schlinder, Schindler?
Yeah, I don't know how it's spelled.
Yeah, because he's not on the list.
I
So-
know. And his brother too, Fred. They were both in the Marine Corps. Fred was in the Marine Corps probably 15 years before Larry, but he was in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, and were those names that you gave us on the original list?
Larry was, I forgot about Fred, but I know Larry was on the list.
But
Well,
do
he
you
should have been anyway.
Yeah, and do you think Fred would be within that 55 to 75 timeframe?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
definitely. I think he was in the Marine Corps in probably the early 60s.
okay, all right.
Bill,
Then,
excuse me 1 minute. I have to leave. I have to go. But thank you very much for including me by Zoom in this meeting. And I'll do as much homework as I can on the quotes, and I'll catch you next meeting.
okay, because I know he's on vacation, so thank you very much for making this effort
No
and
problem.
the rest of your time.
Okay,
Take care, everyone.
can anybody hear me? I'm on my phone. Can anybody hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
Doris,
I can hear you.
Because
perfectly.
my computer quit, so I'm on my phone. I was hoping you could hear me. Okay,
Yeah, perfectly. Okay.
all right.
So I'm going to follow up on that Larry and Fred Schindler. I'm going to do some more research on that. I will make it a point to do that. So, so we're certainly doing a very efficient and thorough outreach to our veteran population. And I would ask that Sarah continue to try to clarify. And I asked her today on the phone, if there comes a time when either you'll be leaving us or that you become overwhelmed, that you say, hey, this is what I need help with pertaining to the list. These are names I can't pursue. I don't know how to pursue. And then I will ask for the committee to pick up on that and carry it further so that our major goal of being inclusive is not defeated. Okay, Sarah?
Yeah, that's fine with me. I mean, if I have the names, I can check my few resources that I've used to verify everybody else. But I mean, other than having personal knowledge of the people, there's only so much I can do. So.
Yeah, and literally, so I might email you tomorrow and say, hey, can you find Larry Schindler and can you find Fred Schindler and any other roster you might have? Because A, Hubbardston residents, B, both of them served actively, and you can let me know. And if not, then I'm going to pursue other means of trying to identify these two individuals. I spoke with the two of the Orcott brothers today, and they told me one's located in Oklahoma and one is in Ohio. And they told me about their sister, who Ellen, and she served. And
She's
so,
on the list already.
is she Ellen?
She's under Clarkson. That's what the name on her DD 214.
Oh,
So.
wonderful.
Yep.
Okay, I'm really happy to hear that because they had mentioned the sister. Oh, great. Okay,
Yeah, she sent in a form on her own.
wonderful. I'm really, and then found out that their dad, 20 plus years in the service and
Right.
literally was until 61. And so another one that we want to make sure is honored because the family, there's still members in town, et cetera, et cetera. So, so that's a great update. And, but we still have more work to do. So, okay. So that is, we talked now about the steps necessary to continue our outreach to ensure that we offer the opportunity to all eligible veterans. And we're doing more. For example, morning I talked with a radio station in Worcester that reaches out to all of Central Mass. Tom is hooking up on Saturday with WGAW here in Gardner, and he's going to do a interview over the phone. Sarah, thanks to her efforts, pardon me, Laura, thanks to her efforts, is going to put together some PSAs for the radio station and has provided us guidance in terms of what we should include in the interview and what we should emphasize. So, Laura, thank you for that. And thank you, ma'am. Now, that brings us up to our fundraising efforts. And what do we do next to generate additional donations? So Ed brought up the fact that we can modify the grant that we're asking for. That's one thing. The outreach we're doing in terms of the public service announcements and the interviews heading in the right direction. We also will have the field day in September, which won't talk about now because we'll have meetings in between there. Lisa Coleman and I had a nice conversation last week, and she said she wasn't really confident about having another raffle. That raffle netted us $2,037, which was a wonderful, wonderful plus. But she said she wasn't sure that having one in the fall would be a good idea. She doesn't want to overdo a good thing, but we can visit that later. My daughter Kellyanne, who you all know, runs the Pallet Place in Hubbardston, is in the process of completing 2 sets of signs that she is going to put out in front of the bins where the people come and pick up the wood. She's very kind to do that, especially where today is her birthday, and she turns 49 again and again and again. So when we finish up, there's Chinese food waiting for me over the house. So, and a birthday cake for Kellyanne, but she's going to have those signs done within a day or two. Once they're up, I'll take pictures and we'll post those on so
excuse me, Bill, what is that spring chicken putting on the signs?
It's going to have a literally say the Vietnam veterans need your help, please donate. And it was going to have the campaign ribbon with the colors. I don't have it right in front of me right now, but then it's going to be contact me, because it's only so much you can put on it. And I didn't want to put all the information about contacting the town and so on and so forth. But Laura, if you have a better idea, she hasn't cut the letters yet, but
absolutely. Yeah, she should put our website on there and I can cut and paste that into the chat so you can see what that is. But the website is the town website. It's a shortcut to it. So if she wants, she can just put cutt.ly.
and I'll pass that along to her then.
Yeah, because the easier you make it for people to donate, the better. And this, let me make sure. Yeah, so if there are 2 two options. One has the HTTPS in front of it,
Yep.
but if
Mhm.
people just type in that second one, then that will work too. Also, we can generate what's called a QR code, and I'm looking around to see if I have any here to show you. A QR code looks like a square with a whole bunch of white and black
Yep.
squares on it that you scan, and then you jump to the website or whatever document you want to direct people to. And in this age of contactless commerce, that would make it very easy for people to quickly go to their cell phone and find that donation if they want to.
Mhm.
So this Cutley website is for the town website that has all of our links in it, the Instagram, the Facebook, the addresses, how to donate. But if we put a QR code there, I would want it to go straight to the online donation so that they can immediately have an impact.
Okay. So send me that. I'll give it to Kellyanne, and she'll do her best to put that on the signs that will be very visible to people passing by on Route 68. And what we'll also talk about at the next meeting, because we'll have sort of an update, will be the reaching out to our employers in town, our companies in town. And I know that Ed has done that before. And I think that Ed and possibly Tom or any other volunteers, if we can kind of tap on the door and ask them to participate, that they've done it before. And thank you very much. And they'll hopefully do it again. So that's another thing that we'll be working on, and we'll discuss in more detail at the next meeting. So let's see. Bill, has Sandy contacted you from the town office and said, come on in, we got more donations, or when's the last time you checked with her? Bill, you're muted. Let me see
Hey,
if-
Bill, you're muted.
No, it'll not be the first time that I mute myself. But the last report is the last time she called me. She hasn't called me since then. Whatever.
Can you give her a call and see if there's more donations that came in, and if it's worth your while to stop in? I'm hoping that even today, with the interview that I did with the radio station in Worcester, literally almost immediately 2 people liked the Facebook page and added on. So I know that it got a quick reaction, and I'm hoping that that's also going to mean people are going to be pressing that button and donating. So Bill, if you'll give her a call and see if there's been some additional donations, that would be good. I know you've all looked at the page, and we're now up a little over $16,000. I think that's very commendable. We've had a couple of very generous donations, one of which was from my daughter's company that donated $5,000. And we need to have, somebody donated $5, but they're making an effort, and, but there's been a lot of very generous people, and I'm hoping that we're going to reach more of them, and that they'll be willing to help us out. So, all right. Literally, is there anything else you believe we need to cover tonight, Bill?
Yeah, the offices are closed tomorrow, so I won't be able to call till Monday.
That's fine.
So let you know.
Thank you. Okay. How about other committee members? Anything else we can think of that we need to cover this evening?
I can't think of anything.
Okay, Laura?
When is it time to make plans for field day?
I think I was thinking about the next meeting, and do you think this is I'm asking a general question. Is this a good time for everybody? 6 p.m., on a Thursday? Is that kind of a good time for everybody?
If it starts at 6, yay.
Yeah, dig, yeah. Okay, if that's a good time, how about Thursday, August 12th? That would be 2 weeks from tonight. And if that will work, I'll be back from my time away, and we'll have more on the quotes. We'll have a better idea of our list of eligible veterans, and that'll also give us time to plan for the field day.
Are you going to
How
do
is
this
that
by
gonna be?
Zoom?
Everybody likes Zoom. I think that works out better for Sarah as far as Zoom, because we get to see the menagerie at her house. And and how about everybody else? Zoom okay? I mean, I inquired, and they said that Zoom is still good to go. And so I'm comfortable with that. And this is the only time we've had a glitch. So, in fact,
I only ask because I'm going to be in Wyoming until getting back sometime late on the 15th.
okay.
But if it's on Zoom, I could probably squeeze it in.
Ed,
sometime.
and I mean, that's what we should do then, Tom. So we're kind of all in agreement with the Zoom.
Yep,
I'm getting thumbs up. Okay, great. So,
if I can get on it.
yeah, I know. So 12th of August, 6 p.m. will be our next meeting. We all have a few little things. I'm asking you to look at the quotes. I'm asking you to reach out, and if there's any way that we can once again get the word out what we're doing, and tap on your neighbor's shoulder and ask for a donation. Our goal was to ask as little as possible for the town, but now it's a bigger project. It's understandable that that original $30,000 goal is not feasible. We have a lot of questions of the company that is giving us a low quote, and unless they do a really good job of qualifying what they can do, how they're going to do it, I'm inclined to need that in my own mind before I would select them as our vendor. Bill?
Yeah, we should change that thermometer on the website.
When I get updated information, I can change it.
Okay,
That's why Bill was asking about that information from you.
yeah, good. Okay.
Maybe
And
the
then
top
what he's
part,
also saying,
that's
yeah,
good.
and make
Oh,
it
in
higher.
the request.
Well,
Yeah,
the goal is 30 up there, right?
Yes.
So our
On-
goal's gonna be closer to 60 rather than 30.
Well, part of the 60 will be achieved by whatever grant Ed is able to come up with, but we can't just change the target. We need to explain about that, and that can be in the form of, well, we're doing it now. So this is a public meeting, but we can also issue a press release and put it out there on Facebook and Instagram why we're suddenly doubling our ask.
Yeah, at that point, we can change the thermometer. Yeah, okay. All right, that's great. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. I truly do. And we'll plan on the 12th at 6 p.m. being our next meeting. It'll be a Zoom meeting, and we'll have some more good stuff to report.
Okay, Bill, I will get you that QR code tomorrow after I have a chance to test it with my phone to make sure it in fact goes where it's supposed to.
Okay, sounds good.
And,
Everybody,
and Bill, if you and I could talk tomorrow morning sometime, I'll give you a call.
okay, sounds good. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Good night.
Good night,
Right.
everybody.
Mhm.
All right.